Welcome to What Lights Up Your Soul. We talk about real life stories, practical tools, and honest conversations about what it takes to get out of your own way, take bold action, and build a life you truly love. Hello, everyone. Welcome to What Lights Up Your Soul. We have Catherine Clift here. Catherine is so wonderful to be here, and let me tell you a little bit about her. So Catherine is a women's empowerment coach and motivational speaker. She helps her clients believe in themselves and their value by uncovering and clearing any blocks about wealth, success, and worthiness, and anything that keeps them stuck so they can achieve their goals and have a bigger impact in the world. Her target is women entrepreneurs, and she's currently has acquired some additional coaching skills based on the Sedona method. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about that as well. And really, it's all about clearing the blocks. So Catherine is passionate about speaking, about the power of letting go and how it has transformed her life. So welcome, Catherine. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Sharon, so much.
Thank you. So if I remember correctly, when we were chatting a little bit before, you had said that you are is as a trained hypnotherapist as well. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, I use hypnotherapy in my coaching as well as tapping, the emotional freedom technique, and the letting go, the Sedona method.
So tell me a little bit about tapping. I've heard something about it, and I know it has to do with the energies within our body. So if you can let us know a little bit about that.
Tapping has to do with the acupressure points on our body, just like acupuncture, but it's acupressure. You just tap on certain places and so you say what, it's like if you're angry, you just say what really is frustrating you, and you tap at the same time, and it basically desensitizes that fight or flight mechanism in the body. So very scientifically proven, and it's kind of like letting go, actually, except in letting go with the Sedona method, you're physically not tapping, but it's very similar in that sense because it's letting go of the emotions. So again, turning off the fight or flight because the mind does not recognize that the crisis is in your mind in the past and not in the present moment. So you're storing that kind of energy. So if something triggers you, it's very similar to certain situation in the past. The mind goes into that fight or flight, like, oh, there's a danger ahead. So I need to, cortisol starts flowing, and it's like, and you get the stress response kicks in.
So it's like many of the old things that we learn. It's almost like our programming, our operating system that is in us, and then it can trigger our nervous system. And then when we're in the fight or flight, like you said, we can't even think. So and we are more reactive than anything than actually choosing to respond to things.
And it's basically automatic. I mean, most behavior is basically automatic. Most people aren't even aware consciously why they behave or think the way they do, because it's all in the past.
And then that could be buried in our subconscious, kind of like what.
Exactly. Yes.
Got it. Okay. So you're talking about Sedona method. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The Sedona method, in very simple terms, it allows you to let go of any unwanted feeling in the moment. And the more you let go, the happier you become, and the more abundance, just effortless, and miracles just effortlessly flows to you. It's just amazing how it works. And you can, it's like very simple process. You can let go in a matter of minutes. And it's transformed my life, and I love sharing it with people. And it's just phenomenal in what it does. I mean, people have let go of illnesses. They've let go of, they've attracted money into their lives. They've attracted relationships into their lives. And just in a nutshell, it just totally transforms your life. I mean, it took me from like a victim mentality of somebody with a lot of self-doubt and, not feeling good enough to somebody that, I love being a motivational speaker. It's like I've got a lot of courage. I've got a lot of self-confidence. If I look back at my life 20 years ago, I wouldn't even recognize who I am now. Yeah. So it's just amazing what it can do.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject, but I just wanted to add that, and I think what's amazing what you said is that we are abundant we are abundant beings anyway. Like my understanding with the universal laws is that we are abundant. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and by divine law, and it just is like, the way science is, that it is. Right. It is. Period.
Yeah, well, and the mind will tell you differently. The mind will tell you you're this little me, that you're vulnerable, you're in danger all the time. So the mind's job is to protect you and help you survive. It has no importance about. It doesn't care if you thrive. It's like it doesn't care, and it doesn't want you to thrive, because being wealthy and being successful to the mind is dangerous. It's like, in other words, in order to thrive, you have to get out of your comfort zone, and that is so dangerous to the mind. It's like, oh, no, 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 you don't want to do that. You need to rethink that. That's why people play small. They stay in their comfort zone because it's familiar to them. And that's why it's so difficult for people who make these dramatic shifts and changes, is because it's familiar.
Yes, and we forget because we're programmed, and it's ingrained in our, even like scientifically ingrained and wired our brains to think small. And exactly. We forget that we're abundant beings. So you said you have a method that you wanted to share.
Yeah, actually I do. I mean, the Sedona method is actually a very, very, you can actually do it in your sleep. But what I'd like you to do, just to give you an idea, is I want you to pick up a pen or any object that you can hold in your hand.
Okay, I got one.
And I want you to roll it around in your hand. Now, the pen represents your consciousness, and your hand represents your feelings. I'm sorry, the other way around. The pen represents your feelings, the hand is your consciousness. Now, notice how your feelings are not attached to your hand, okay? Now, yes. I want you to close your hand over the pen and grip it as hard as you possibly can.
Okay.
All right? Yeah. You're going to notice two things. First thing you're going to notice is the more you do, the more you grip it, the more uncomfortable it feels, right?
Yes.
So if you keep holding on to it, you're also going to notice how familiar it is. It's like, this is why we hold on to our feelings of anger and sadness. It's like, well, I can't let go of that because I've always felt like that, right?
Okay. That's just how it is.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So I want you to turn your hand over, open it up, and let the pen go.
Okay.
That's how easy letting go is. The mind will tell you, oh, it can't be that easy. Well, don't listen to the mind, because the mind doesn't know what it's talking about. But it's like that simple process, and that's such a wonderful analogy of letting go, because there's like 5 different processes to letting go. The most simple one is basically just welcoming and letting go. But it's like, it's that simple process that helped me let go of a marriage of 23 years that was unsupportive and emotionally abusive. It helped me let go of a job in a call center for 25 years that became so stressful that I developed shingles in the last month that I was there. That was a wake-up call to get out. And like I said, it basically it helped me. And by letting go, and like I said, these were 2 things I didn't think I could possibly let go of, because I thought I needed them for survival. My gosh, if I let go of those, who would I be? What would I do? Right? But the more I held on, the more miserable I was in the marriage and in the job. So basically, I took a leap of faith and I let go. And what I discovered was, by letting go of my marriage, I discovered I had enough money to live on for the rest of my life, which I had not a clue of. It's like, whoa, talk about a shock. And then by letting go of my job in the call center, I discovered my life work, life coaching. I mean, I love inspiring people to believe in themselves and to achieve their potential. I mean, it's so rewarding and so inspiring for me. So, if I had not let go, I would have ended up like 90% of the planet, like playing small, like, oh, I'm comfortable. I'm making a decent living. I can live this way, whatever. But it's like the universe has such bigger plans for you than you can possibly imagine if you just are open to it and you just let go. But it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, there's so much stress and self-doubt out there in the world today, the economy and everything. So this is a simple process.
Let's pause right here. If any of this resonates with you or you see yourself in any of these stories, go to my website at lifecoachsharon.com and schedule a breakthrough session with me. In that breakthrough session, we will dive deep into what's bubbling up inside of you, gain clarity and a vision of a life that you would love, and discover a path on how to get there. Don't wait, and I'll see you soon.
So this is a simple process that will help you be more joyful, more in control, basically empower you to be and do whatever you want. So that's why I'm so passionate about this.
And that it's so incredible and such an amazing tool to have. And it's liberating once you actually let go. And I want to add that prior to the letting go, I just want to add to what you had said. You had said that you had more money and opportunities, is my word, not yours, that you didn't know you had. So what's really amazing, and this is how when I'm coaching my clients as well, is almost open their eyes. Because kind of like a camera where you zoom in on something, you're only focused on one particular thing, and that you think that's your whole opportunity in your world. But once you kind of, as an illustrative point, you zoom out, you realize that there are more opportunities that have always been there, but you just never really acknowledged.
In fact, I think a wonderful analogy is, imagine yourself in a jail. You're looking through the bars and all you're doing is focusing on the bars. But behind you, there's no wall. You could turn around and be free.
Right.
But people don't do that. They don't do that.
Right. Yeah.
All they do is they focus on the bars. They focus on the negative. And the mind is very good at focusing on the negative. In fact, if you ever go through your day and just think, how many times do I think negatively? You'll be surprised at just how many times you do. And, you have to almost consciously catch yourself, but it's like, I mean, and it's kind of like in sales, people say how many positive, for a product, it's like to give a compliment to a product, you have to give it like how many different times. But if a customer complains about something, that's what people notice, right? Mm-hmm.
And that's what people remember. So what's crazy is our mind remembers, I guess, pain or discomfort more than it does the pleasure. It's very fleeting.
It's interesting because I do a gratitude or journal every day, and I, and when at night I sit back and go, okay, what happened during my day? And so I sometimes struggle, I know some positive thing, but if there was a negative thing that happened that day, it's like, oh, well, this happened. It's like, oh my God, it's whatever. And it's like, how interesting. You have to realize how it's like, oh, the negative really comes to the fore first before the positive does.
It is for some reason. And I think maybe that's part of our human nature, our human beingness to focus on the negative or what's more dramatic. And then we give it a lot of energy and we give it a lot of focus. That's why the work I do and what you do is we help our clients take our focus away from that, shift, let go. And then once you focus on something else, what a wonderful world opens up.
And it's amazing how your perspective is. My mother-in-law was one of the most negative people I could possibly imagine. I mean, she did go through a lot of trauma in her life. She saw only the negative in people. I mean, we would go to a restaurant. She would make a comment. The lady sitting next to her says, "Oh, I don't think that lady likes me," or something. I'm thinking, why in the world would you say that? It's like, I had no judgment whatsoever. How did she pick up on that?
Right. And what's interesting.
So again, her blinders were on. She had filters on. She could only see the negative. She could not see the positive. And and it's kind of like my ex-husband and I would say, I mean, after visiting a weekend with her, we would be emotionally drained. I mean, on Sunday, we were so glad to get out of there and go, thank God we're not, we don't have to deal with this anymore.
Yeah. And it's interesting that when people focus on the negative and outwardly, and they focus on everything outwardly, and many times it's something that they also start to do internally as well. So it's about themselves, about their own lives. And kind of like what you're saying, I like your gratitude practice. I do the same. It really just when you start, and this is what I tell my clients, when it feels like, because I'm saying the word feel, because again, we are living in a truly abundant universe.
Correct.
When it feels like things are going badly, we choose to do gratitudes, just like you said. And then I do the same, and I teach my clients, focus on what's going right. And
it's interesting about feelings too, when you mentioned that, because it's like, we don't say, I feel sad or I feel angry. We say, I am angry or I am sad. And we identify with that feeling, and that gives it power.
Yes. Yes.
So that's one thing I really want to get across to people is when you say I am, you are identifying with whatever's behind that. And you are giving that power. Like,
exactly.
I am stupid. I am,
There's power in our words, and our words actually create our reality. Because when you say, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm broke, when you say I'm broke, there's the power of I am. There's an energy behind that. I'm broke. And then now everything follows behind that, on your actions and your feelings.
And it's interesting. The power of the gratitude journal is wonderful because you're basically retraining your brain to look for positive things. In other words, in fact, when I started doing my journal, I would maybe write a couple of lines a day, and now I write whole paragraphs or pages or whatever. But, whatever's, and people don't realize, like, whatever is positive, write it down, because it's, just, the fact that I was a guest on a podcast is pretty positive. But I mean, I could say, let's see, what happened today? That's a small positive that I did. My dog basically walked with his dirty feet on my carpet, but I was able to, clean it up. So it's like,
or even super simple, if it, like the fact that, you and I, we woke up this morning. We're breathing,
and that is
Jinx. We both said it.
Yes. I mean, I put down like, oh, I got a great parking space today. Oh, a line opened up for me in the cashier, whatever, that kind of thing. And people think, well, that's trivial. Well, it's not, because because you're telling your mind, I want more of this.
Yes.
And then the mind starts actively looking for it. So I have this little mantra that I say every morning is, I allow myself to have delightful and unexpected joys today.
I like that.
And I say that, and it's like, the mind says, oh, you want, and it happens.
Yes.
I get unexpected discounts. It just flows. And that's just,
and that's why you don't focus on the negative, because then you'll get more negative.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
And when things are not working out your way, kind of like you have your favorite mantra, one of my favorite mantras that got me through so many things when things felt rocky in my life, I always remembered, everything is always working out for me, no matter what. There's always a positive in there. So even though it felt icky, whatever I was going through, I said, nope, there's something good. I don't know what it is yet, but there's something good. And I just focused on that something. So, and that helped.
It does. It really does. So what I would like to do is actually lead your listeners through a very simple process of letting go. Would that be okay?
Sure. Yes, I would love that.
All right. So what I want you to do is, I want you to think of something that bothers you, something that doesn't give you any peace or seems unresolved. And I want you to put your hand over your heart, because you basically let go from the neck down. Your mind will try to help, but your mind will only get in the way. Okay? Now, when you think about that situation or person that bothers you, what feeling comes up around that? Is it sadness? Is it anger? Is it frustration? Is it overwhelm? What is the feeling around that situation? Now, I want you to rate that feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the most intense and 1 being the least intense. Where would you be on that scale? Now, I want you to get in touch with that feeling, and I'm going to ask you some basic questions. First of all, I just want you to welcome the feeling, allow it to be there, because by welcoming the feeling, you're actually starting the letting go process. You're not resisting it. You're saying, I don't like that feeling. When you say, I don't like that feeling, you're resisting it. Okay? Does that make sense? So welcome the feeling, just allow it to be there. And if you can't welcome it, then just notice it, because it's the same thing. Doesn't matter if it's welcoming, allowing, or notice. Okay? Now, as you get in touch with that feeling, would you be open to? Would you allow that feeling to soften and dissolve? And that's a yes or no question, and it doesn't matter how you answer it. Would you allow that feeling to soften and relax so that you could be more free? And when would you be open to allowing that feeling to soften and relax so that you could be more free? It's just a decision. Do you want to let go now, or do you want to hold on for a while? I can't force you to let go. It's up to you. You have the power to let go. Now, do you now let that feeling go just for now? You can bring it back in the future if you want, but just for now, could you just let it go? And now I want you to rate your feeling again on a scale of 1 to 10. Did you notice that your number dropped? And even if it dropped 1 point, you still let go. The mind will say, well, my gosh, I still have that feeling. It's still there. You may have to do several rounds, and that's okay. But again, just having it drop 1 point is letting go. Does that make sense?
And I know that's so liberating. Even if it's just a little bit, you can feel a shift. You can feel it lighten even just a little.
Yeah, lighten, exactly. Yes. You feel a lightness. And I'm just going to, and as you, and while we're doing that, I'm just going to say, so if you notice you're feeling lighter, could you just for a moment just close your eyes and just allow yourself to experience that peace just for this moment? And that is the power of letting go.
Beautiful.
I mean, children do it effortlessly. It's like they can be playing. One of them hits with one accidentally, and the other screams, "I'm never going to play with you ever again." 5 minutes later, they're playing like nothing happened. Adults have forgotten how to let go.
There's a lot.
I mean, how many adults have held a grudge for all their lives? Like, I'm never going to forgive this person.
Yeah,
they betrayed me. I'm never going to forgive them.
I've known a lot of family members and other people who have done that as well. It's a lot of energy to do that.
Oh, I know. I mean, it robs you of peace. I mean, how important is inner peace to you? I mean, is one person that important to your own peace? I mean, I guess that's your decision. But again,
And at the same time, I don't mean to cut you off, but at the same time, it's the energy and the robbing of the peace that you're talking about but just imagine the energy that you are using in almost in your subconscious manner. This is an energy, and so much energy hanging on to that grudge or whatever that is. Exactly. Imagine if you could direct that energy towards abundance, towards liberating yourself from that and making room.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if our government and our political leaders could do that?
It's anywhere, everywhere. I mean, family
imagine
members.
What the planet would be like. Imagine what the planet would be like.
And I always said that if every single person can come from love and express it in a skilled, not an unskilled way, in a skilled way, oh my gosh, the world would be a better place.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm so passionate about it. I mean, I know what it's done for me, and it is so simple and so powerful. You can do it in your sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you can continue. I mean, you can think about it and say, I'm just going to let go during the day, let go.
Let's pause. If you are feeling the nudge and you can see yourself in these stories and would like different results, go to my site at lifecoachsharon.com. There, you'll find complimentary gifts to serve you and more information that can support you to the path of bringing your dreams to a reality.
Well, this is absolutely incredible, and I'm sure my listeners will love those tools that you have shared with us. If any of my listeners would love to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you and learn more about you?
Well, you can go to my website. It's catherinecliftcoaching.com. Or I am on LinkedIn. I'm not particularly on Instagram because I don't do Instagram. I don't do TikTok or Instagram. But or I'm also on Facebook. So you can find me on Facebook as well.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Catherine.
And if anybody is interested, like I said, if they're interested, I do offer a complimentary discovery session where we basically dive deep into whatever's bothering you so that you can get a real taste of what it is I do.
Perfect. And I'll make sure to add that into the description so that they can get a hold of you as well.
That'd be great.
Very good. Thank you, Catherine, for coming, for being on the show. And I appreciate all the gifts and what you're doing in this world.
Well, thank you, Sharon. I appreciate the invite. Thank you so much.